Hello student. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. We are discussing the role of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in the Constituent Assembly. A big role because he had seen the matters, the different sections of the society when he was with Gandhiji. He was in every movement of Gandhi. He was there supporting the mass movements. He was there to see the grievances of the people. He was nostalgic, you know. He remembered the whole thing from the beginning till the end. He was nostalgic to the past. He knew that there are different sections demanding different things from the Constituent Assembly. There were many voices within the country. Many voices were to be heard because Pandit Nehru believed in liberal democracy, that each and every voice should be heard and their ideals, their expectations should be taken care of. So I told you that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru had his objectives, resolution, and in the Constituent Assembly, he said that let me be nostalgic, let me remind you the Revolution of France, where the people of the Third Estate, who were very general people, the mass subject, and hardly they had no rights. We cannot say hardly they had rights. They had no rights. And even then, in the tennis court, they met so that Louis XVI could not imagine that what is going on. And the revolution began, and they adopted a constitution that was sovereign, republic, and democratic. Then, Nehru was also nostalgic towards the American War of Independence, that how the people of America, although divided into 13 colonies by the British, even then they took advantage of the geographical situation of the country, which Britishers didn't know because they were busy in 7 Years' War in Europe, and how there was a war and how Americans were able to achieve their independence and adopted a constitution. And in the constitution declared that it's a federal country, and from where we had taken the ideal of federalism. Then he also reminded the people, actually he was very nostalgic towards the Russian Revolution, about which we are studying right from the beginning, from class 8th and 9th. Russian Revolution, the first revolution of the world that was organized by workers and peasants, who are considered to be a very weaker section of the society, although not weak, but people consider them as weak, although they do most of the productive work of a country. So the workers and the peasants of Russia, they organized a revolution, and Russia was converted into USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. So all these ideals were there in the mind of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and he told the members of the Constituent Assembly about all this. I told you there were 300 members. I also told you that all the proceedings, they used to come before the people every day through the newspaper, correct? And Pandit Nehru also said that we are not going just to copy, because Indian problems are different. We are not to copy all this, the American War of Independence, the French Revolution or Russia, but we are taking examples of all these countries so as to get a framework, so as to get an idea about how our constitution would be based on justice, equality, freedom, etc. Is it clear? This paragraph comes in source. Go through your NCERT page number 414 till the end, which I am giving you, and you will get all these things, the sources, etc. Then, when the constitution was outlined, after Nehruji's ideals of these revolutions, the independent country with sovereignty and republic. The word sovereign, you are going through right from your social science syllabus, right from your junior classes. Sovereign means that a country would be free to frame its internal and external policies without the pressure of any other power. Sovereign means this thing, that we would be able to take our internal decisions as well as external decisions without any other power interfere in it, without the interference of any other power. Independent, you know that freedom from the Britishers. In Quit India, they said that quit India as soon as possible. And republic. Republic term itself means that the heads of the states, the heads of the country and the heads of the states would not be hereditary, but they would be popularly elected by the people. This means republic. It means that there will be no more hereditary system in the country or in the states. And the heads of the states and the head of the country would be elected, popularly elected through universal adult franchise. Correct? Then justice. Justice means economic justice, social justice. Economic justice means each according to his work, each according to his capacity. Economic justice. And social justice means no discrimination. If male and female, economic justice also means if male and female are doing the same type of economic activities, they would be paid equally. Social justice, economic justice, equality, equality before law and government. There will be no discrimination between the people. This ideal was proposed to the Constituent Assembly. And then freedom, and particularly it was added that the interest of the minorities would be taken care of. The tribals and the depressed. About the tribals, about the depressed, we have studied in our previous lectures, in our previous chapters also, that minorities, actually they are the masses. Most of the people of the country comprise of these common people, whom the so-called, they called them depressed or the tribals. Tribal movement, we have read about it, very strongly united together and very strongly they opposed, at different times they opposed the British authorities. And they went in large to support Gandhiji in the Satyagraha movements and others. So their interest would be looked after. Then we come to a communist member. The name is Somnath Lahiri. See page number 405, 415. You can see the sources in your NCERT, chapter 15. Somnath Lahiri. He was a communist member of the Constituent Assembly, and he saw a dark hand of the British in the Constituent Assembly. A dark hand of the British in the Constituent Assembly, that the Constituent Assembly is in fact made by the British and it is working with the British plans. He was very clear in his ideas. Mr. Somnath Lahiri, a communist member of the Constituent Assembly, very clear in his ideals that although we are working for our country, although we are working to frame a good constitution for the country in which, according to Nehru, all the sections of the society are included and they get satisfied, but we cannot deny the fact that Constituent Assembly is, in fact, it is constituted by the British and it is working with the British plan. After Nehruji's redressal, after Nehruji addressed the Constituent Assembly and told the people about his nostalgic ideas, told the members about his ideals of the modern constitution for India, Somnath Lahiri said, "Thanks and very good, sir. It is given in the inverted commas in your NCERT." So he was appreciating the ideas of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and he was also proposing that the assembly should be free from the British influence. It should be independently allowed to move further and allowed to see the benefits and the rights of the masses of India, of the common people of India. At the same time, the problem of separate electorate was also raised. And according to the leader, separate electorate would be suicidal for the Indians, suicidal. Means if the different, because India comprised of different religions, different communities, different sections of the society. And if, as Britishers had given separate electorate to the Muslims, and right from that time they had in their mind the demand for Pakistan, a Muslim-based, Islamic area, Islamic-based state, that would give idea to the other communities also. And then for the country, for India, for which we had fought for so many years, that would come to standstill. Why we fought for so many years for a united India? So if separate electorate continues as it was demanded by many communities, and if we do not discuss this problem in the Constituent Assembly, it would be suicidal to the interests of the people. So, in the Constituent Assembly, certain rights of the people were discussed that we have today. There was inclusion of fundamental rights later, and before the inclusion of the fundamental rights, there were certain rights that were to be given to the Indians immediately after independence. And in these rights, the members of the Constituent Assembly, they classified these rights into political rights. Political rights include right to vote and right to get elected. Two political rights, right to vote and right to get elected. And right to vote also includes one person, one vote, means equal weightage to every vote. Then there was social equality, equality among the people, freedom to all, and special care, special safeguards to the minorities. Safeguards, you know, that their number, their seat should be reserved, and they should not feel alienated from the country, like the histories of the countries of even many European countries and Asian countries. They tell us that if a particular community is felt that they are not getting sufficient attention by the government, or their rights are not safeguarded, they feel alienated, and it brings problem for the countries. We have seen in Europe also all these problems. So our constitution framers, the members of the Constituent Assembly, they were aware of this fact, and it was decided to safeguard the interest of the minorities in India. Correct? So students, go through all these topics today, go through the sources, and again we will meet tomorrow. We will finish the chapter, we will complete the chapter tomorrow. The last segment is left, where we will discuss about how the constitution framework was adopted finally, and prepare your notes. Thank you.